So now discussing another important bond from chemical bonding, that is hydrogen bond. So our next question is define hydrogen bond, give its cause, representation, types and consequences. Now what is hydrogen bond? In order to understand this bond, let us see this body of the pen is called as electronegative atom, that can be oxygen, fluorine or nitrogen, and this black part cap of this pen, it is called as the hydrogen. So when a covalent bond is formed between hydrogen and electronegative atom, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, then you know that this atom has more electronegativity, therefore it will pull the shared pair of electron towards its side, and this molecule will acquire negative charge while this portion will acquire positive charge. Now when such molecule they come in contact with another molecule, the negative part of this attracts the hydrogen of this and they are held together by means of a force which is called as hydrogen bond. Since hydrogen is involved in this bonding, that's why that is called as hydrogen bond. Similarly, when another molecule comes, it also holds this molecule. So this goes on. If this force occurs between different molecules, it is called as intermolecular hydrogen bond. If it occurs within the same molecule, suppose this electronegative atom and hydrogen, they are a part of the same molecule, then this hydrogen is held attracted by this electronegative center. This will be called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So we have two types of hydrogen bonding, intermolecular and intramolecular. So we'll be discussing that in detail. First of all, let us define what is hydrogen bond. It is defined as the weak electrostatic force of attraction between covalently bonded hydrogen of one molecule and इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम, तीन इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम है जिनके कारण हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग होगी. इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एटम ऑफ द सेम और डिफरेंट मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ सेम और डिफरेंट सब्सटेंसेस. Now what is the cause of hydrogen bonding? I told you it is the polar nature of covalent bond formed between electronegative atom and hydrogen. Then we have the representation, how it is represented. As we know, covalent bond represented by line. It is represented by vertical line. Their number is not fixed. This is electronegative atom, this is hydrogen, this is your hydrogen bond. This can be between fluorine and hydrogen, it can be between oxygen and hydrogen, and it can be between nitrogen and hydrogen. So these are three types of hydrogen bond which are generally formed. Then we have types. Number one is intermolecular. It takes place between different molecules of the same substance or of different substances. For example, we have water. Negative center of one molecule is held by positive center of another molecule. This this is one kind of hydrogen bonding taking place in the molecules of the same substance. If this bonding takes place between the molecules of different substances, this is alcohol. It holds the hydrogen of water. So this bonding is alcohol water bonding. This is also intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Then second is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. It takes place between the electronegative atom and covalently bonded hydrogen of the same molecule. For example, we have orthonitrophenol. This is OH group present at the top position, and this is nitro group which is lying at the ortho position. They are forming hydrogen bond. This is intramolecular. Then we have salicylaldehyde. This is also a ortho isomer. OH hydrogen of this form hydrogen with aldehydic oxygen. This is intramolecular hydrogen. So these are the two types of hydrogen bonds which are formed by the molecule of the same or different substances. Now we come to the consequences of hydrogen bonding. What are the factors which are affected? So we have the consequences of hydrogen bonding. Number one, association. Due to hydrogen bonding, the molecules of a substance they get associated together. They can be molecules of different substances also. They get associated together, and we get the solidified mixtures of 2 liquid, 3 liquid, 4 liquids, which whose molecules are held together by means of hydrogen bond. And this association is also responsible for the physical state of the substances. For example, we have very important question: why H2O is liquid, but H2S is gas? The reason for this is H2O possesses hydrogen bonding. So different molecules of water they get associated together. But in case of the H2S, there is no hydrogen bonding. Size of sulfur is quite large. It cannot polarize H2S HS bond so much as OH bond can be polarized by oxygen. Therefore, water is liquid due to hydrogen bonding. That is missing in H2S. Similarly, we have another question under this property: why ammonia is liquid, but phosphine is gas? Reason is same. Ammonia is liquid due to hydrogen bonding, but phosphine has weak van der Waals forces among its molecules, so it does not form hydrogen bond. That's why it exists as a gas. Then after doing this, we have the melting and boiling point. Second property: the substances whose molecules are held together by means of hydrogen bond, they possess high melting and boiling point. For example, we have glycerol, maximum hydrogen bonding; sulfuric acid, they have maximum hydrogen bonding. That's why their melting and boiling point they are very high. Similarly, H2O has melting and boiling point. Boiling point it is high due to hydrogen bonding. Then we have the viscosity and surface tension. The liquids whose molecules are associated by means of hydrogen bond, they are more viscous and their surface tension is also very high. So viscosity and surface tension that becomes high with the hydrogen bonding. Then we have fourth property, that is solubility. Water is soluble in alcohol, alcohol is soluble in water. It is mainly because of the hydrogen bonding between the molecules of two liquids. So like dissolves like, अगर दो लिक्विड आपस में घुल रहे हैं तो उनकी नेचर भी एक जैसी होनी चाहिए. आइदर दे शुड बी पोलर और दे लिक्विड they should show the hydrogen bonding among their molecules. So this is our fifth bond, that was hydrogen bond. Now we come to the another bond, that is last bond of this unit, that is defined metallic bond. Give its cause and explain properties of metal on the basis of this bond. Now we come to the metallic bond. It is defined as the strong electrostatic force of attraction between positively charged metallic atoms, which are called as kernels, and the mobile electrons. Now what are kernels? How they are formed? As we know that all the metals, they possess low ionization energy and more shielding effect. That's why their valence electron, they are loosely held by the nucleus, and under the conditions of their existence, some of the valence electron, they knock out from the metallic structure. So when these electrons come out of the metallic atoms, they remain in the interstitial space, since they are attracted by all the other metallic nuclei which have acquired positive charge by losing the valence electron. So the force of attraction is generated between the lost electron or the mobile electrons and the positively charged metal kernels, the atoms which are left after losing valence electrons. This force is called as metallic bond. So what is metallic bond? It is defined as the strong electrostatic force of attraction between positively charged metal kernels and the mobile electrons. These nuclei are immersed in a sea of electrons. So these electrons are the mobile electrons, and these are called as metallic kernel. The force between electrons and metallic kernels, that is called as metallic bond. So what is metallic bond? It is defined as the strong force of attraction between the positively charged kernel, the metallic atoms which have acquired positive charge, and the mobile electron, that is called as metallic bond. Now let us explain the properties of metal on the basis of metallic bond. We know metallic surface, they keep on shining. This is called as metallic luster. So explanation of properties. Number one is metallic luster. We know metallic surface keep on shining under light. It is mainly because of the fact then when a light falls on the mobile electron, they absorb some of the wavelength from the incident light and set up into to and fro motion. So during this to and fro motion, they go on losing the energy in the form of photon. That's why metal surface that keeps on shining. Then second property, we have the hardness of metals. Most of the metals, they are hard. For example, we have transition metal, all of them, they are hard. It is because of more number of valence electrons in them and strong metallic bonding. They are generally hard, but alkali metal, they are soft since they are having only one electron for metallic bonding. Similarly, alkaline earth metal, they are bit harder than alkali metal, but they are not so hard as the hard or the transition metal due to weak metallic bonding. And we have the third property, electrical conductivity. So when a potential difference is applied across the metal surface, suppose we are applying this potential difference by taking two terminals, positive and negative, then flow of electron that get directed in the applied direction, and the electron will start moving from one direction to another. This is called as electrical conductivity. Then we have thermal conductivity. So these mobile electrons, they can move under the action of heat, and this is called as thermal conductivity. When a iron rod is heated with the help of burners, or this part of the rod which was not heated, it also becomes somewhat hot. The reason for that is the electrons of this part, they are absorbing energy from the burner and they start moving towards the cooler end, and they strike against the other electron which are present on this end. They impart their energy to those electrons. That's why this end also gets heated up. It is called as thermal conductivity. Then we have malleability. Metals can be hammered into sheets. It is mainly because of the metallic kernel. These layers, they can slide over one another under the external stress and can give in the formation of sheet. Then we have ductility. Metals can be drawn into wires. उनकी wires बनाई जा सकती हैं by pulling them after melting. So it is again due to sliding nature of the metallic kernel layer over one another. So this is our sixth bond which we have expressed under the heading of bonds. So we have up to now we have discussed all the six bonds which were to be discussed in this unit. Now we'll be discussing two important theories. They are valence bond theories and molecular orbital theory, to explain, to understand bonding characteristics as well as magnetic characteristics as well as shapes of the molecules. We will discuss those theories one by one in our second lecture.